We have 13 candidates. One's not here yet. But so try to keep the presentation with it to the point and 2.5 minutes. Each speaker is going to get 2.5 minutes. So the way it is broken down is 30-40 seconds for introduction, and then 3 questions, 30-40 seconds. So it kind of averages to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Yes?
So, 3 questions. Now it's got 3 questions in the beginning, because we repeat the question, that would be 2 minutes right there. So we are not going to be...
The questions are right here.
We don't need to.
Yes, and they have been sent to you earlier, so you should have prepared. So just start with the first, say answer to first question or whatever, reference it. Yes. Okay, and so like we said, the questions are on the TV, and we have a timekeeper. Where's the timekeeper?
But we do have a time.
So we're going to keep a time, and the way it's going to work is Surikaji will explain in a minute. And after you guys are done, each one of you, after you guys are done, we will be asking one impromptu question right when you are still at the podium. So that way it saves us time, that we're not kind of going over with everybody and then asking each one a question again.
But that's not in the 2:30, 2.5.
No. That's
Additional 1 minute.
To think.
Impromptu, right.
2.5 minutes or 2?
But don't worry the question.
2.5 minutes.
No, wait, you can't go.
All right.
I
So
had
the
a question.
time.
Surekha, I had a question. I was under the impression that we had 3 questions, that's where we are going to say. I didn't know that we have to do our introduction, no?
You can use your, all the questions, 3 questions, and use your full 3 minutes, 2 minutes, that's fine.
Okay.
Because the biodata is already there, you
Yeah,
don't have
that's
to
fine.
repeat that.
You can just say your name, I guess. Just say your name, and that's all introduction you need. Okay, so for the timer, we have 2.5 minutes. So when we start, I'll just speak, I guess. Okay. So when we start, we're going to do like this. So that's like means you have 2.5 minutes right now. And then when 30 minutes are left, 30 seconds are left, you will get a yellow warning. And then when it's all done, then it's red. Then you have to just finish your sentence, and then that's it. So, but yeah.
And as you said, you have a lot of time right now, I mean, just go on. No, what I'm saying is that because the timing will be when it goes on a website. So you don't want to be cut off or have your right thought not be presented on the website. So that's why its limit is very important.
And for that 1 minute, you'll start like 1 minute, and then 30 seconds left again. So the yellow light is like you still have 30 more seconds to do. Okay.
And if you go before any further, if you can start with the knockout.
We will start with the number.
Any questions?
But first do the knockout.
Can we all start with Nauka Mantra? Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo
I request everybody to turn off your cell phones or mute it. Thank you.
Jai Jinendra, everyone. So like Komalji explained before the candidates, I'm also going to go over some rules for the audiences. So like you heard, they're going to get 2.5 minutes for their presentation. And after that, they are going to get 1 impromptu question, and they'll get 1 minute. So I would request, we have to follow some protocols. So I would request all the audiences to hold off their questions until the end of the presentation. And actually, you're going to write out the questions and not write your name. We want to keep it completely anonymous. And also, do not target the question to any specific candidate, but make it a general question so we can hear what all of them have to say about it. And then the EC's election committee is actually going to ask the questions what you guys have. We will be screening the question and asking them the questions after. Also refrain from talking amongst yourself. It's only 1.5 hours, so we can give the candidates fair chance to stay focused and concentrate what they have to say. All good? Thank you so much for coming today on a Saturday morning.
All right, our first candidate is going to be Kalpesh Bhai Javeri.
Right here.
And he's running for BOD position.
Ready? John, hit the green button. Yeah, so hit the green button. Jai Jinendra, my name is Kalpesh Jai and I am a active EC member, third term, applying for BOD. I have worked in several committees, which is a part of my biodata, probably 14 or 15 of them over the years. And if you have not been working with me, I hope to get the opportunity of working with you in the coming, after the coming election. I'm going to go straight to the point about the youth. I feel that we have, as being a part of the JCYC's election committee or selection committee, I have had the opportunity of choosing a group of slate of leaders for the next, for 2 years in a row with the, for the JCYC. And I feel we have an extremely strong students or category of students who are very capable of going forward and taking this giant center to another level. The only reason why there has been some sort of a divide is, first of all, these children all only stay with us till the age of 16 or 17, after which they go on for colleges, etc. If during that period we do not engage them or do not bring them back or get meaningful activities with us, then we lose them. I believe the EC and the BOD has already started the process of having more coordinators who are working with these coordinators or working with EC and BOD. And in the future, I feel that these students themselves will also come back. So our future is in good hands as long as we can engage these children. For my own contribution, what I can end up doing for Jain Center, being a part of EC, I have worked in so many different committees, and I can proudly say that every person whom I've ever met, whether an EC member, BOD member, or just a sevak in the Derasar, every person wants to give back to the community. Every person wants to serve. Nobody has any, I would say, personal agenda, but their way of achieving their objectives may be different. Over the years, I have seen that recently, in the last few years, there has been a divide between the EC and the BOD. Having served in the EC for so many years, I feel that I'm in a position to help in bridging this divide, to go up to the BOD level and take my activities and my seva to BOD and hopefully make the two bodies work together again and bring back a little bit more I say enthusiasm and energy into the Jain Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kalpesh Bhai. We have a question for you. You have been involved in various hands-on tasks at the temple. Where would you like to see our temple or as our community as a whole in the next 4 years, being in the BOD?
I would definitely like to see that there is a lot more of new people, new faces, which can come on board. The strength of our community is we have a young generation who has new ideas but will uphold our values and morals of the Jain Center. And then we have an older community who is so enriched with their experience and with their own knowledge, and so there has to be a meeting of the two, which will happen, I believe, in the next 4 years, because more and more younger people are stepping up, and that's where I'd like to see the center going. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpesh Ji. And we are going to now request Prula Sha to please come and give her presentation.
Jai Jinendra. I am Prula Sha, married happily to Ramesh Shah. We have one son, Samir, married to Sonal, and we have 3 adorable grandchildren. Since the start of Jain Center, I'm involved in various activities. I have been a member of major lead committees like 25th anniversary celebration, 2 Pratisthas, building committee, and so on. As a treasurer, I introduced computerized accounting system for the first time at Jain Center. I initiated tender care community outreach program, funds for Leukemia Society of America. I am a very good liaison between younger generation and Jain Center. I connect very well with the community. Keeping in mind the principle of Jainism, I'm always thinking and looking how we can do more for each other and better for each other. I have learned that each solution has a peaceful solution. I always have and will always work for the interest of Jain Center of Southern California and its community. Thank you.
Prula Sha, how do you think you can play a role in making Jain Center a global role model?
First of all, I would like to establish a very peaceful community where everybody understands each other's needs. Every sect of Jainism is in harmony with each other. We should work with each other rather than try to find some faults. And I am going to be a vehicle. I will do my best to make sure that our community is definitely in harmony and going to set up a great example throughout the world that here is where Jainism is practiced so well. And this is the place to come and see Jainism being practiced on a daily basis. Thank you.
So now we are going to the EC.
I would like to invite Ven Sha. She got you by surprise.
Jai Jinendra, Jai Prabhu. My name is Ven Sha, and I used to live in Boston for 18 years, and I've been in Mission Viejo since past 10 years with my wife Smriti Shah, my son Parisha, and my daughter Pooja. I've been an active member since day one I moved here, and this has just become a second home for me. I really enjoy all the activities coming to the Jain Center, and it is important to have rituals such as puja, and additionally have spiritual workshops, retreats, satsang plus seva, social and cultural activities for all ages. This should be second home for all of our members. Coming back to the issue of the youth, which is not really an issue in my mind, but we need to think how we can engage them, empower them. YJS survey from the participants after the second convention, which just happened here, showed that many of our youth feel that there are more rituals than understanding. After the age of 20, most of them stop coming here. In my opinion, the young adults feel involved and empowered to be active in the community. By this, I mean if we have the activities they can organize, hold in our cultural hall, and allow them to pick the social and religious topics, then they are more likely to be active. So we want to empower our youth not by words, but by practicing it. Last thing, what I bring to the table. I have been past member of Jain Center. I was past president of Jain Center of Greater Boston. I was past board of director of Jaina. I bring the leadership which I can help our center to grow and empower everybody to do more activities. Last but not least, in English, I would like to say everybody and request, please vote for Ven Sha. Hindi में मुझे आपका वोट दो वीरेन शाह. कच्ची में, if I would say, it will be मुझे आंजो वोट दीजा. गुजराती में मारो वोट तमारो वोट वीरेन शाह ने आपजो.
Viren Bhai, we have a question for you. As a past president of another Jain center, elaborate on your leadership skills as an asset to our center. How would it be an asset to our center?
I have done, Jain Center of Greater Boston was a smaller center compared to the Jain Center of Southern California. However, we did quite a bit big projects. One of my achievement is everybody has this in their home in America. This is the list of all the Jains in North America and Canada. It was done under my leadership. Page number 7 will be prefaced as a president of Jain Center of Greater Boston. I would like to bring some projects like this to JCSC. We are a great center. People in whole country follow us, and I would like to empower more.
Thank you, Viren Bhai.
Now we would like to call Samir Sha. Please come on to the podium.
Jai Jinendra. My name is Samir Sha. So the first question, my family and I have been part of Jain Center and the community for over 20 years now. And during this 20 years, I've had the privilege to be part of many activities at the Jain Center. And a few years ago, I was on the committee that organized this, the first YJALA convention. I was director, and it was very successful. And then I've been part of JCSC Phase 2 Planning Committee. I was also part of early years of Young Jain adult class. And then I attended it for many years. I was part of youth group that led the Parisha Swapna ceremony for about 10 years. I've also represented Jain Center at many national forums in past 20 years. Now, second question about the youth. When when one wants to engage the young people and invoke their interest, one must understand their expectation. And my background is marketing, and even many large corporation, Fortune 500 companies, right now they struggle to invoke that interest in millennials and young people. So our Jain Center is doing a great job actually by trying various things, but the youth and the audience is always evolving, and we have to try different strategies. One of the things that I suggested, we can try creating a right combination of socio-cultural engagement so that we can build a long-term bond with them. A type of bond that guarantees a long-term engagement and commitment from our youth. And I've grown up here the last 20, 25 years, and I have so many friends who grew up here. So I have talked to them, and I know exactly how they feel. Now, third question. I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to be part of Jain Center for last 20, 25 years. And while I definitely will bring my corporate experience, one thing that I won't bring is ego. If I can keep that at the parking lot, I think I can be very productive here.
Thank you, Samir Bhai. With your entrepreneurial and your corporate experience, what are the specific traits from that world you're going to bring over to our religious and cultural activities and organization, and not just for the youth, but for everybody?
Yeah. So that's a very good question. I think this Jain Center has a legacy. I mean, I've gone and I've represented our Jain Center in the last 20 years in many forums, like I said. One thing that we have, and it's a legacy, our Jain Center is always talked very highly wherever I go. And that legacy is the harmony that we used to have. Even elections we didn't have for many years, recently started. So that's the legacy that we have. Now empowering people, working in harmony, consensus, etc. I think that will really work in our interest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is for Sunil Jain. He's not here, he's visiting in India. So I'm gonna read his question answers and his biodata briefly. Do I need to go there? Jai Jinendra, my name is Sunil Kumar Jan, and I'm running for the EC position for our temple, Jain Center of Southern California. My wife, Aay Sha Jain, and I have been associated with Jain Center from the very beginning, and a lot of you know that I have been involved with numerous Jain temples and trusts around the world, also in Los Angeles area. To name few, I'm currently a trustee of a prestigious Acharya Sushil Muni Memorial Temple in Defense Colony in New Delhi, a trustee at the Dharmashala at Jain Dababari in Agra, a devotee of Manav Mandir mission started by Acharya Shri Rup Channaji Maharaj in New Delhi. The precious lessons of Manavta hi Manav Dharma by Sushil Muniji Maharaj Sahib is embedded in me. Like my father, Mr. Mahendra Singh Daga, who is the world-renowned philanthropist, I would like to give back to our Jain community and follow his footsteps. That is why I want to serve at the Jain Center selflessly and without naming any recognition. I'm positive that I'll get that opportunity from all of you. So to answer the questions, the first one is the specific activities that you are involved in. My answer is, I'm quite involved in our community. My wife, Aay Sha Jain, and I, and my entire family come to Jain Center every week. Aay Sha and I do puja at the temple frequently and get the blessings. We are also involved in other cultural and religious activities of the temple. I'm a trustee at the Karona Jain Temple, started in 80s by the followers of Acharya Shri Sushil Muniji. Being in that leadership position helps me in organizing many religious events and Munis, saints, and scholars coming from India. I'm a liaison between the two temples, JCSC and Karona Temple, so that people can benefit between the two temples. I have organized a group of people coming to visit temples from overseas to visit different centers in Los Angeles. I was also a major part where Shri Guru Vannaji visited our Jain Center and blessed a lot of people. I organized some yoga sessions with India-renowned yogi Arun Tiwari visiting our temple, and also Acharya Rup Channaji Maharaj blessing us with divine lectures. Therefore, I'm quite involved in our Jain community and striving continuously for the betterment. The second question is how I will have you...
Jenna, then we'll have to cut it off now. The time is over.
Thank you.
So next we have... Oh, I'm sorry.
Since he's not going to answer the questions, we can take that minute for that also.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. The second question is the youth. How do I activate the youth community? The youths are the future. I believe they are the ones that will take our community forward if they are guided properly. First, we need to proactively listen to our youths rather than dictating them in everything. We need to understand their thoughts and guide them accordingly. Finding that they will enable us to take more activities and do the likings of their process, we can guide them in the right direction. So listening to them is the key. And giving them a more leadership role, that is the second thing, how we can get our youth involved. And the last questions of solutions for bringing it to the table. As a team member, I believe that my biggest strength, that I'm a people's person. I've always people involved with enthusiastically whatever project I take, and I get the job done, as I've involved in many religious temples and organizations overseas and here. I can be part of increasing the Jain Center's following, as I'm currently, and can be continuously a liaison between the different temples of Jain Center here and overseas. God has given me...
We need to stop, Janelle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So next we will invite now Mina Chera to please come on the podium. We're just throwing you off a little bit here and there.
Jai Jinendra. My name is Mina Nin-Cha, and I'm seeking your vote and the support of the first-time EC member in the upcoming election. Currently, I live Sturdos with my husband Nalin and my son Samil. My husband has been teaching Parisha for 15 years, and my son was also past co-president at the JCSC. As far my professional experience in concern, I was in banking for 22 years. For the last 17 years, I was in branch management. I left my work in 2008 to spend more time with my son. As far, now I'm going back to the question one. I was Gujarati language teacher for 14 years, and also I worked with the Jaina Ben. I have participated in activities at the Jain Center for the last 22 years in various capacities, such as Ambil, Ekashnas, Pajushan, Pratishta, 25th anniversary, various pujans, other religion activities, food committees, nomination committees, and anywhere else I can help. Question number two. One of the reasons will be youth having a very busy life, lack of time which they can spend for any community activities. Especially parents of young kids will have less time on their hands. Second reason, in my opinion, can be lack of activities or opportunities which they can relate to. They may feel that they don't have any voice or say or any influence in hands. They get discouraged and eventually hold them back from beginning active part of our community. This will be my opinion, and I'm sure the other candidates will have the opinion on this too. But I feel that we need to get honest feedback from our own youth themselves and provide them a platform to express their views, suggestions which we as a community can act on it. Question number three. First of all, I have time on my hands with my son being away from home to medical school. Secondly, I am honest, sincere, and believe in walk to talk. I believe that my past action and deeds to speak for themselves. I am dedicated to Jainism, especially to this temple, as it has been my second home. Above and all, I have strong support from my family and friends. I given the opportunity to serve the EC member, I will do my best to fulfill duties and earn my community trust.
Thank you, Meena Ben. So we would like to know, how do you propose to build a support system throughout US to help Jain kids staying away from home to engage in religious and community activities?
The most of the kids that are away from the home, we can talk to them, call them and email them, and then find out what activities they have nearby, and then they can, especially we have here people coming from Parisha, and they have parents and young kids have so much time that they just hang out outside and everything. So if we keep them busy somehow, different classes or different something involved with the activities over here in Jain Center, then we can help them out. the same way with the other centers too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Parisha for your presentation.
Hi, my name is Parisha Shah and I'm running for first time EC's committee. I have been enrolled with our center once my two daughters were enrolled in Parshala classes as a toddler class. Not only have I been assist in Hindi class too, with like helping kids with the homework and their homework and then reading, and also I help Surekha aunty to making the Hindi books, and the other kids have a problem with the testing and everything, so I help them also. Recently, 6 months ago, I got the opportunity to help the Gita aunty assist with her accounting and bookkeeping in our center. So I just got that, and each day I learn something new things with Gita aunty, such as input in entry and regards to the vendors and then customers. I'm employed with our as a team member, I can bring my new ideas and achieve goal to back to our center and community. So that's the reason I'm holding the community centers. Thanks.
Thank you, Parisha. We have a question for you.
She didn't answer this.
Do you want to answer
The three questions, especially the second and the third.
Oh, okay. I have the second reason, give the reason of the committee. So I got I want to tell them kids not come back to the Patsala. So I want to tell them come back, and I want to let them know the Patsala, sometimes kids don't want to come because of the learning. They're not learning something like new things. They want to learn like pujas and stavans. So that's the reason I'm holding the committee.
All right. What new ideas can you bring to accounting that can improvise the current system we have here? And how would you help in any other way in the EC, being an EC member?
I can bring some new systems like a scan, how we have to write down everything in the paperwork, or maybe we can write down in the words. But if someone had to send the receipt, we have to make a copy and everything. So we will bring some scanners, and then we can go short way, something we save the time and give to more committee outside the less paperwork, and give to the something new things, something idea accounting inside. That's the reason. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now we would like Pinal Bhai to be taking the board for your presentation.
Jai Jitendra, everybody. I'm Pinal Doshi. I'm a physician who's been practicing in Cerritos in Southern California for the last 25 years. I've been a life member since then. My wife, Falguni Doshi, is also very much involved with my kids, Pratik and Chirag, and we have a big family here who are all involved in the Derasar. So I feel a very integral part of this temple, which is like my second home. I want to do whatever I can to help this improve the Derasar, make it better, make it available and better for the next generation, which I believe is the future of this Derasar. So that is why I'm running for the EC with sole purpose of helping the next generation take it over. So I'll go ahead and answer the three questions that we have. How are you involved in your community? List specific activities that you have contributed. Since the last 20 years, I've always been here. Most of the Sundays you will see me here, sitting in the desk here, helping out. As a physician, I've participated in medical camps. in the wellness committee, we restarted this wellness committee and yoga. As a part of it, we also starting some educational classes once a month, which will start from next month to help educate and keep our community well. I've been involved in a lot of JCYC activities, including cultural activities, Garba, Hori, winter camp, which I've been organizing for the last 5 years. As a EC member, we took upon ourselves to do e-voting, which we started last year. And because we wanted to save on paper, save on time. Okay, so we had the highest turnout that we ever had in any election. We also started to involve our kids. From this year, as Mahendra Bhai has started, we started sending food out for our kids that are in the universities around here during position, so that they can get Jain food. And it was very well organized. We got about 100 kids that we sent food to. Give 2 reasons why we think our youth can be an...
You don't have to say the question, just say the answer.
Fine. So okay, quick, 2 minutes. So 2 seconds. Quickly is education. I feel what our kids, we teach them Kriya. We need to have them understand what the Kriya means. Jainism is a very scientific religion. If we really explain to kids why we do what we do, it will really help out. Okay, thank you very much.
So here comes your question. This gives you the opportunity to talk about what you were talking, is that share your vision of making them, the youth, feel this is their second home. So you can continue.
Oh, thank you. Which answers into my next question. Main thing what I want, and I have a vision, is to have a senior member and a youth working together as a co-chair for all the committees. I think if we have a senior with the experience and a youth with the fire, with the power, and the youth who's born here in the US, 2 members working as a co-chair for any of the committees, I think we might answer some of the questions that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinal Bhai. Next, I would like to invite Kitan Parek.
Jai Jinendra. My name is Kitan Parek. I am running for EC position. First of all, I like to thank the entire community for electing me as an EC member in year 2014. I live in Cyprus with my family. I am part of Jain Center since 1997. During these 19 years, my family and myself were involved in many activities and provided our seva. As a EC member, my involvement was in many of the activities like organizing the religious activities, organizing the keys for the Jain Center, counting the bhandar, organizing or managing the lifetime tithi program, participating in fundraising activities, reducing the electricity bill. Currently, I am working on a solar project which will bring about $1 million saving over a period of 25 years to our Jain Center. When we talk about youth, I think the main reason is the circumstances which prevents them in actively participating in our community. When they are part of JCYC, they are very active. But as they go out pursuing their career and education, they don't have time. Also, as a young parents, their kids becomes their priority. But these youths are very talented, they are great leaders. And the great example is our YJ convention. The second reason, I think we need to practice a culture of seva in our community. As a kid, if we teach them to provide the seva, it will become part of their life as they grow up. And as the time permits, they will more actively involve in our community. The last question is what I will bring. Some of my strength, like team player, problem solver, and firm believer of Jain principles, will help me in serving the community and resolving the problems. I will work selflessly and diligently on any project given to me by EC or BOD. My mission is to serve our Jain Center by tan, man, and dhan, and for that I will need your support and blessing. thank you, all of you, for listening, and thanks Election Committee for organizing this event. Jai Jinendra.
Kitan Bhai, your solar energy project will need a lot of funding. What fundraising projects are you considering other than donations from our community?
Great question. Thanks, Komalben. Like solar project, required total of 240,000 if we buy out as a Jain center. But there are options that solar companies are providing, is called purchase power agreement. In that, we don't have to put a 0% down or $0 down. We are kind of leasing the system, and we are kind of paying a monthly installment. So we have a couple of options where we can do that way, or somebody can donate it, as you said. So we can go to our great community, which always open their hearts when there is a project like this. So we can do either way.
Thank you, Kitan Bhai.
We would like to invite Mahesh Bhai now to the podium.
Jai Jinendra, and thank you all for coming and listening to us. A lot of patience, and special thanks to the election committee who have done a wonderful job. As to my introduction, I think I have provided my biodata, and that should be available to all of you. So I'll straight jump to 3 questions. As to my involvement in the community as well as specific activities, I've been EC member for 2 years now. I'm in my first term. Therefore, I'm running for the second term now. Specific activities, I've been on the food committee and the Kasna committee as a chairperson. And I think some of you have probably seen some changes, and I hope those are the positive changes that we have brought. Related to food, one of the areas that we are bringing the change that I believe is a real positive change is we are getting rid of the foam products. As you know, that foam is really harmful for environment as well as for health. So we are changing from foam to biodegradable paper products that I believe a really profound positive change we are bringing about. I'm also responsible for the facility usage for internal as well as the external use. As you know that we rent out the facility to the private people for their private programs. And we have streamlined the process, and we have made it very active and attractive for our Jain Center for rentals. We have seen the results that we have seen the increased rental activities. We have also streamlined the process for the internal, for example, puja. So those are the changes that I have brought about in the last 2 years. I'm also responsible for the security guards, and I've been able to reduce the cost as to the security guards by streamlining the process. As to youths, our young, I think it's a very good question. I believe simply that most of the time, my observation is that when they are studying, they are extremely busy, so they don't have time. When they enter into their family life, they are busy raising their young family. I think what we need to do is, rather than imposing our values, we need to bring about, listen to their values and engage them actively. I think that's how we're going to bring them to the Jain Center.
Mahesh Bhai's time is up. So our
Thank
question to you is that as a chairperson for the food committee,
yes, ma'am.
you have experience that RSVP is one of the problem. Either we sometimes run out of the food or sometimes we have too much food. If it's only up to you, what is the one thing you want to see that happens in RSVP that we can reduce this problem?
Excellent question. It's a big challenge that we have been facing for many, many years. We have addressed this question various times. I believe that by having a system where we can discipline the RSVP system, there are various ways we can do that. For example, we can issue some kind of token, so we can have a token system. So those who have RSVP'd will receive the token, and we can either have priority meaning those who have tokens will be served first, and those who haven't RSVP'd, who don't have tokens, we are not going to deny them. We never, ever deny any person from serving food. However, based on the priorities, they will be the last ones to be served. I believe that by having a system, once our community understands that, I think we will have excellent RSVP turnout.
Thank you, Mahesh Bhai.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to call Bavin Modi.
Jai Jinendra, everyone.
Bhavin Bhai, 1 minute.
We have passed around papers for audience to ask questions. Once you guys are done, you can pass it to Narendra ji and he'll bring it back to us, and then we'll pre-screen and ask the questions. Thank you.
Okay.
You can go ahead now.
Jai Jinendra, everyone. My name is Bavin Modi, and I'm a life member since 2000, since I came to this country, and I've been helping since then with the different activities. Library committee, building committee, maintenance committee, bandar, taking the money to the deposit into the bank, and you name it, I have done the activities. I'm going to go to the second question. For the youth, I think the parents and then the children and the senior people has to communicate each other and train them, do the brainstorming, and then do the activity that they are interested in the temple activities, so that they can come up and do some activities. And the third question would be, the money would be the important thing that we can bring to the temple, so that the temple will be the debt free. Thank you. That's all.
So if we can change the timer, finish it up, start new for the question. So Bhavin Bhai, now you're rerunning for the election after serving 2 terms. And we want to know, what are the specific reasons that have inspired you to come back and run again for the EC?
It's a good question. There are a lot of activities that I like to do it again, which was kind of left over. So that's the reason why I like to come in again.
Can you specify that?
Specify some.
Well, the fundraising, and also the remote controls AC, that kind of small project, but yeah, that is left over as well. So I like to finish it up. There are other projects which I don't have the list yet, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We invite Ajay Bhai now to the podium.
Hi, Jai Jinendra to all. Thank you to giving me a chance to stand up over here in front of you guys. And I am Aay Sha, and I am here last 18 years since as a live member. I am currently EC member and I am running for the 2nd term. To answer the question, I believe, wait. Anyway, the first question is how been involved in our community list specific activity. There is so many activity I involve with, and whenever community need, I always come over. Honestly speaking, I don't like to give this answer because so many activity I am doing, which one is not appropriate to declare in the community. I am doing last more than 10 years. But anyway, certain things I do, recently we started sending the food to the Jain student or non-Jain student, and this year I was the one of the person to taking care of that, to making the box and sending right time on the right place. After that I am always helping to the Ikasan. Now the second question is why the youth is just not coming or less coming in the activity.
I think, in my opinion, there is a certain things like different messages getting to the youth about the Jainism. We need to come out at one point and exactly we have to give them the proper education about the Jainism. So many times they got the different messages from the different age of the people. Say, hey, Jain Dharma is very strict. If you do this, then going to be this. If you do this, going to be this. It scare them and fear them to come in the temple. They are very good activity in the Pathsala, but they are not coming in the temple activity. And so many times, most of the ritual activity, we are not involving them nicely. We have to come out some different project and involve them all of the activity and giving them enough knowledge about the activity. That's the main reason to bring them. The second things, we need to create more activity youth level, and that's the way we can bring them. Jai Jinendra. Sorry.
Okay, so the question we have for you, Ajay Bhai, how will you address the challenging needs of our community, challenging and changing needs of our community between the youth and the adults, that brings the balance between the traditions and the new things? Everybody's talking about youth needs to get involved. What is one thing that you see that you're going to be bringing in?
See, this is the most challenging we are facing right now, to involve the youth people. Like last, we did try last Dhaja ceremony, to bring the Pathsala kids to bring the Dhaja inside. And I believe some of the people like it, some people don't like it. But if you want to bring all the youth club, I think we need to educate them properly and create the more and more youth activity to inside the temple than outside the temple. We have a lot of activity in the Pathsala, which one is interesting for the youth people, but same times we need to create so many activity which one they can interested, and we need to explain all the kriya why we are doing this instead of scaring them or fear them. Better to give the better education to them. Thanks.
Thank you, Ajay Bhai. So we have some questions from the audience. I think we covered everybody. Yes. Yeah, he's not here, and he didn't send any of his things, and I'm not sure if he's interested. Yes, I know. Oh, anybody wants to submit any other questions? They need to be written down and... No. Okay, so I'm going to ask the first question. What should be done for seniors when they do not have a ride and they have to go back home? So what facility we can provide them? So maybe Viren Bhai, do you want to answer that? Do you have something to say?
Sure. Thank you for the question. And that is very important question. Our cultural center is one of the best around here. And what we need to do is we need to make it more useful during weekdays. And we have a lot of seniors who are at home and who would love to come here and do some cultural activities, maybe some religious activities. So if we come up with a plan in terms of how we can transport them, that would be ideal. Now, we know there are some community members who might be in transportation business or who knows they are in transportation business, and if we can find something, some subsidized way of transporting seniors from home, and when the program is over, bring them back to home. And this is not on a daily basis. Maybe you can have program maybe 1 day or 2 days of the week. And If we have a contract with the transportation company at a reasonable rate, it would be very ideal. And I don't think so it will be wrong to ask minimum donation or even contribution, maybe $2 just for the ride. And that way we can pitch in and create a transportation system that would be ideal.
Mahesh bhai, would you like to answer the same question, please?
Can I use this mic?
This is fine.
I think our community has been facing this challenge for quite some time. And it's extremely important that we provide the facility like transportation to our seniors. It's challenging because we live in Southern California and the area is so widely spread. Now, one of the things we probably want to consider is, I don't think we have ever formalized the process. What we can start with is find out exactly how many seniors are regularly interested in coming to the Jain Center and requiring transportation. Once we do that, we can consider one of the options that we have many people living all over the areas. Knowing where the seniors live, we can try to organize a carpool. People like me, we have hundreds of people coming here from our community. And I don't think there will be any reason not for our community members to provide the facility for our seniors. Secondly, we can also consider, oh, there is a time limit on this? Sorry, thank you.
The limit is 1 minute on the J's question.
I have one recommendation. If you can just announce the name that this question is for such and such person, and then let the person come there and then ask the question. So you have full minute to answer the question.
What we are trying, no, you will get the full minute because once you start speaking, that's when the timer will start. So you will get the full minute. The reason we are not seeing, because depending upon the answers, we're trying to get different kind of answers. So we are picking the people accordingly. So that's why we don't want to, it's not pre-decided. Samir bhai, your 1 minute starts now.
Same question?
Same question. Okay. The question is, what should be done for seniors when there is no ride for them when they are ready to go home?
Okay. So I have many seniors, my parents, my uncle, and a lot of seniors in my home, so I know exactly how it is. Recently, I was fortunate enough to have worked with United Health Group, where they formed a relationship for the seniors to take them to the provider's office. So I know, like other people said, creating that pool of people who are willing to provide the rides, and then finding out from the data who are the people who need this service more often than not. And then creating a program, whenever they need the service, they can just do it easily. I think that would probably fulfill this. Thank you.
The next question from the audience is, everyone likes to stand for elections. Once elected, are you ready to be present every weekend to help out? What if you don't come 75% of the year in weekends and help? Are you ready to resign and give up? I would like to call Mina Ben.
Go ahead, your minute starts.
Your time starts now.
Yeah, I'm here actually every single day. Only out of 7 days, I'm not here on the weekends. Like if I come Saturday, then I won't be coming on Sundays. But most of the time, I'm always here. And only the time I think I won't be here if I go to India for emergency or something. But yeah, I don't mind if it's, I have to resign for some reason, then no problem. But I will be here all the time.
The question is not just for you, but
Okay.
do you think that as an EC or BOD,
that should be something that everybody should be at least coming 75% of the time presence in the meetings and all that?
To me, no, not everybody, because you don't know what everybody has, what kind of emergency or what it needs to, I mean, what kind of, like if they don't come here, we need to find out why they're not coming over here. First, we need to find out their problems. Like all of our members, whoever chosen for the EC committee. And sometimes you have work related that you go outside for your meetings or whatever, that you're not in the town. Or sometimes if you have an emergency for a family, or if you're sick, and if those are reasons, then I don't think so they should resign for any of those things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Same question to Bavin Bhai.
I have seen in the past that there are members that they do not participate at all. And from the EC side, they don't get any return up or anything, and they're still being credited to be as an EC member. So I think my answer would be yes, they need to resign, because there are so many people that they wanted to get on the board and help the temple. So I think those people are not able to help. Doesn't matter what functions, Paryushan or Das Lakshana or any other 25th anniversary or any kind of a functions, I think they need to be available and they need to spend their time. I mean, emergencies and excuses, there's always available every single second. So I think if they are not going to be able to participate, then yeah, they need to resign so that they can give the opportunity to somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Bavin Bhai. We have another question from the audience. What are you going to do for expanding practicing Jains among American-born, American-raised, or half Jains and non-Jains? And the question we're going to ask is to Prafula Ben. Can you repeat the question? Yes. What are you going to do for expanding the practicing Jainism among American-borns or American-raised or half Jains and non-Jains?
I think our Jain Center should have some kind of an arrangement where all Jain, non-American, American, half Jains are enticed to come to their Asar. They should be informed of, and they should be all welcomed here. They should not be judged because they are American-born, they have a different lifestyle. Most of the people who want to come here, who are American-born Jains or non-Jains or half Jains, have a desire to learn Jainism and serve our community. They have to be welcomed. They have to be shown that there is flexibility here. They have to be taught that come, give your opinion and suggestion, become part of the community, rather than being judged because you're half American. You don't come here, you wear half pants, you wear spaghetti strips. That is not a criteria to come to their Asar. They have to be welcomed with open arms.
Thank you, Prafula Ben. The same question we would like to ask Kalpesh Bhai. How would you do, get the American bonds and
Jai Jinendra. First of all, I think we are actually fortunate to be in a time and place where there is a very large spiritual awareness going around amongst the youth. It's not so much about being born here or not being born here, but it's more about giving them an opportunity, like everybody else has been saying, for them to come here and be able to see that they can be a part of what they want to drive for. So there's a spirituality, there's a lot of veganism going on, there's a lot of spirituality, and this is not just amongst the Jains or the born Jains. And this year is a center where this is the heart of it all. We did this 20,000 years ago, we were following this, and so today, if they want to follow this kind of a lifestyle, of course they have to come here. Having said that, there is certain norms, principles, etc. that we need to follow, and actually everybody is okay with that. They don't know about it, so they don't follow it. If we show them the way, if we allow them to come here, we increase different opportunities for them to participate. For example, we did the food distribution last year. We were an active part of that committee. That is one more way of getting people to come and participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpesh Bhai. Same question goes to Ajay Bhai.
Hi, Jai Jinendra again. Answer this question. I think, or my opinion is, we need to do more marketing or more networking regarding what the activities going on in the Jainism. Like a lot of times the other community do small things on a big scale advertising, and so many things we are doing. Like we are one of the biggest religion who is doing the Jeev Daya, and so many people don't know about the Jeev Daya. We can give this one as a marketing, use as a Ahimsa or Jeev Daya, and the most things, the richest quality of this Jain Dharam is, you can see like a Siv Mastu Sarva Jagata. We have to advertise of the meaning of the Siv Mastu Sarva Jagat or Kamemi Savajve, which one is really attract the American born or Jain or non-Jain or other people to come and join our Jainism. Thank you.
So the next question we have, we're gonna reword it a little bit. As a EC or a BOD member, what are the suggestions that you have that when some of the activities that temple puts out, like Jaya or youth program, and we don't see that many participations in that, how would you change that, or what are your suggestions on that? The question goes to Pinal Bhai.
Jai Jinendra. What we've seen actually is that we have had a good participation in Jaina and Jaya, but what we are not seeing is, again, the same question is getting our youth back in. And I think the only way we can do that is making it easier for them to understand what Jainism is. Jainism is a philosophy, it's not Kriya. Okay? You have to understand what Jainism is, you need to explain to them and make it easier for them to follow. These are kids who are born here. So they have their own thinking, they are a little bit open-minded. If you try to be conservative with them, it's not going to work. And that is the biggest problem that we are seeing, that I'm seeing, that we need to change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any of the questions that we ask that you didn't get a chance to answer, think about an answer that if you want to do. We have 10 minutes or so left, so we will do it. But before that, the same question goes to Parisha Ben.
Okay.
I'm just asking you to think about if you want to answer one of the questions.
Some kids not coming because my kids talking about I'm not coming to the Derasar because of them. We not learning anything. We just learning like karma. That's it. They wants to learn like different activities about like what is the, why we doing the pratikraman, why doing the upvas, why doing the fasting. They wants to learn everything because I'm not in Jainam, but I am Vaishnav, but still I'm forcing my kids to do all those things. So I want to create like, bring the kids back for the pujas, tavans, and teach them what is the reason we doing these all things. Because we have pratikraman time. They're asking why we doing these all things. Is no reason. Because this is like scientific. It's not like we all doing these all things. So now I'm going India and tell them why we doing these all things, because this is our religions and this is our like. Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Does anybody want to answer any of the questions? Yes, Kitan Bhai?
Still 1 minute is your.
Okay.
You still get a minute,
Yeah,
though.
so Jai Jayanta, so I want to add something to the question previous to that. I think it's been asked to Prafula Ben and I think Kalpesh Bhai.
How would you, practice Jainism for the American bonds? Yeah.
American bonds and like that.
Yes.
I think, we as a Jain Center is doing a lot of stuff. First thing is our Pathshala. I think that's a great example where, we trying to teach the kids which are born here, saying why we are doing this. Because these kids here are always asking the question why. So I think that's the one thing. So I will say Jain Center needs to encourage all parents to bring their kids to Pathshala, because I know lots of my friends who are living little farther or they are still hesitant to bring their kids to Pathshala. So something we need to do that. And second thing is to bring these youth together. I think we should organize more like a seminar or they call shibir, where it's open-ended shibir rather than discussing any religious topic. We should maybe discuss some of the topics that they like to discuss and put it in a Jain way of life, saying why we are doing or how we should do that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The same question if anybody wants to answer.
Anybody wants to answer same question? Okay.
Jai Jinendra. A lot of discussion is happening today around how we attract the youth in our center. Most of the young kids have been here to the Pathshala. However, by the age of 20, they stop coming. And we start thinking how we can attract them. This is a cycle going on and on. This is a digital age. And I see two generations and maybe a half-cooked in-middle generations here, which is common in America. We need to create the programs for the kids which they like to do it, keeping Jain principles as a core. We also should allow them in terms of choice of their food a little bit, choice of their dressing a little bit, and keep the core principles though. It's not like you come up in a real short shorts here, but if you have a little bit lower than ankle, it's okay. Things like that. We need to open up and we need to respect everybody in our temple and Jainism.
Thank you, Viren Bhai. Anybody else with that question? Same? All right. So we're going to move on to the...
Can I answer again, or I already had a name?
The same question?
Yes, the one which was asked to me before.
I think we just did that. So
Yeah.
You answered Prafula Ben,
So I cannot. Yeah.
All right. So the next question that was asked, which is, what if you don't come 75% of the weekends in the year? Are you ready to resign and give up? Anybody? Mahesh Bhai?
Not ready to resign. I want to clarify that. No, it's a very important question, and I think it's visible. Some of you, including me, we do a lot of contribution away from the temple. So I'm just giving example that doesn't mean that we should not be here. Right. I'm just saying that not being here doesn't mean that we are not participating or actively working. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahesh Bhai. Kalpesh Bhai, I think you have something to say.
I was a part of the bylaws committee, which was 4-5 years ago. As a matter of fact, I'm a part of the old and the new bylaws committee. In the old bylaws committee, we had come up with a clause that if a active EC or BOD member consecutively, without explanation, misses 2 or 3 meetings, actually I think it was 3 meetings, then they can be asked to step down. And without explanation, that's a key point here, because somebody mentioned that yes, there can be reasons, there can be personal reasons, etc. But having said that, you really want to end up having people who, yes, take on a task and complete it. So if you have EC members and or BOD members who are going to come to the meeting and yes, spend the 12:30 and 1 o'clock at night once a month, that's not really sufficient. If you take on a project, you have to see it come through, and so you have to see it coming to fruition. And if you cannot do that, yes, you can see there's a lot of candidates. People do want to do seva, and in which case it's not fair if you continue occupying that seat and not being able to come through. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpesh Jai. Moving on to the other question from the audience. What should be done for seniors? Does anybody want to answer that for the ride?
Just a suggestion. This is actually a very heart-dearing thing for me. We have a lot of community resources. One of them is access that many of our seniors do not know about. So we have community resources out there which cost about $2 to $3 only to bring you here. So if we can somehow make it available for our seniors, then that is one option. Of course, carpool, as somebody, I think Mahesh Bhai said, that's another option. So we need to really, as a community, need to think about this. So I just wanted to bring out access as one option. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinal Bhai. Prafula Ben?
In Jainism, there is something like Sadharmik Bhakti. If we make our adults, young adults, seniors who are capable of driving, aware of that doctrine and make them understand that there are people and they will be there too someday, we can probably get people to do this work. Another thing is that people face the liability issue. If I give a ride and if I'm loaded and if I run into an accident, there is a waiver. We can sign that. But if we have some kind of an insurance where people who are given this kind of rides on a day in and out basis, once in a while I can give it, that's fine. But if I have to constantly do that, I have to be made assured. So somehow or other we should look into that. But I think we will be more than happy to give right to everyone. Anyone, if we can create a pool that these people from your area are in need of the right. Thank you.
Thank you, Prafula Ben. I think, Bavin Bhai, you have something to say in this matter?
For the senior, I think there are various options are available, like Pinal Doshi mentioned about the access. There are other options like Lyft or Uber is also available. But the main responsibility for the senior to bring the temple is their kids or either their family members. For an example, if the kids has a basketball game or soccer game, they have to take it over there for the children's activity. It's the same thing for seniors. The temple is activity for them. So as a kids or as a family member, it's your responsibility to bring your parents to the temple because it's their activity. They are not going to the basketball game or playing any other games. Temple, Pratikaman, Samayik, these are their activities. So I think the family members should be responsible for that.
So what you're saying is that it's not Jain Center's responsibility. We should not have that as a Jain Center responsibility.
I mean, Jain Center, of course, is not responsible to bring the seniors to their home. But as a humanity or as a senior people or as a apara sanskar mata, of course, we have to bring the seniors to the home. I'm available to bring them, but of course, the main source is their family members, and again, it's family members.
Thank you. Anybody else for this question? Okay.
All right, we're going to move on to the last question that was asked from the audience, which was, as an EC or BOD member, what you suggest that EC and BOD should do to increase participation in activities like Jaya or any other events that we have at the temple. Anybody? No? All right. With this, we conclude. One of the audiences was asking, as an EC or BOD member, what would you suggest that EC or BOD should do to increase the participation in activities that we have at the temple, like Jaya or any other events that we have?
I think exactly what you said. You want more exposure. You want the Jain Center to become more globally known. Jaya, we are already very active in Jaya and Jaina and all these organizations. Also talking about the youth, if you want to have them see more, be more involved in Jainism. I would say not, we keep talking about Jain Center, which is a good thing. But on the other hand, really what you're doing here is you're creating a platform and a background for these children to get culture so that when they grow up anywhere in the world they go, they will end up holding those values. So having said that, Jaya, Jaina, all these different vehicles available to us are very important, because when you're hands-on participating one-on-one at these in these organizations is the time when you end up holding back some of that, and it's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So yes, I would say that whatever we are doing, we should just multiply that, or keep adding to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpesh Bhai. So with this, we're going to conclude our candidate presentations. Thank you everyone for coming. And so we're going to start the voting. The voting process is going to start from October 24th. And it is going to end on 16th of November. The results, the final results are going to be announced on at the general body meeting on 20th of November. And we are also going to have 3 days in between before the end of the voting date. You could come in person and vote here at the center. We'll have volunteers to help you in case there is an issue. The dates are October 30th, Sunday, and November 6th and November 13th. They're all 3 of those days are Sundays. And 2 of the days are Pachala days, so we would expect quite a few people. And so if you have any issues, you can just come and vote here at this temple.
So in short, it's going to be again e-ballots like last year. If anybody has any questions on that, we'll be available afterwards to answer any questions. The email to all the members who are I believe it's all life members who will be voting. So the email will go out to them sometimes on Sunday, and Monday the voting starts. You're welcome to do your own marketing as such, but be Jain, be considerate to what you are standing for. It's not politics, it's a religious activities and religious center and cultural center. So do your marketing accordingly. And if any questions you have regarding election related, especially for e-ballots, feel free to call one of us. We'll be here for a while. And that concludes. Yes?
I have a question.
We can cut off the recording now. Okay, go ahead.
Any election committee is going to take the